What's going on, comic book fans? My name is Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics, and it is June 1st of 2021, and that means it's a Tuesday. You know what we do on Tuesdays here on this channel? Well, we do our comic book speculation recommendations video, the video where we look into the future at Final Order Cutoff and New Comic Book Day of next week. That's right, we're looking into the future, guys. So this way you guys have enough time to put in your pre-orders for Final Order Cutoff and also to reach out to your LCS and say, hey, I just watched this speculation recommendations video from Bruce and Stephanie Comics and they told me about these books that I could possibly make this hobby fund itself. And I would like those books. Can you put them on my pull for me? Guys, it's time for my weekly reminder to please do your own research and take everything I say in this video with the smallest grain of salt, because you guys are going to be spending your own hard-earned money on these books, and if you guys want to make the biggest return on that money, you guys need to be doing your own research. I suggest go watch other YouTubers you trust, other comic book websites that you trust, and check out other comic book apps that you trust. This way you guys have the biggest pile of information to make the best decisions possible on what books to pick up on Final Order Cutoff and New Comic Book Day. That's my warning to you guys. Now let's jump into my Final Order Cutoff books for next week. Before we jump into my Final Order Cutoff books, there is one piece of information that I would like to share with you guys that I've yet to share with you guys on this video series, and that is sometimes dates for Final Order Cutoff in New Comic Book Day releases sometimes shift. I don't know why they shift, but sometimes they do shift dates. And the first two books on Final Order Cutoff are books that I spoke about back on May 18th, and they're back on June 6th and 7th, which is the new Final Order Cutoff dates. And I don't know why they shift, but they do sometimes. So take that in with every single week. Sometimes you'll see a book on FOC multiple times. Sometimes you'll see a book on this New Comic Book Day list multiple times because the release date actually just gets shifted. So that is the piece of information that I want to share with you guys. And now for real, let's jump in to my Final Order Cutoff picks. Alright guys, we are talking about our Final Order Cutoff picks for June 6th for your DC books and June 7th for your Marvel and Indies. And the first book up on Final Order Cutoff for June 7th of 2021 is Barbaric #1. Now this is one of the books that I mentioned 2 weeks ago, and the date for its Final Order Cutoff did shift 2 weeks, so we're talking about it again. But guys, this is from Volt Comics. It sounds like a really fun book. Just think about, you know, Berserker, but this seems like it's gonna have more of a comedic tone to it. But let's read the synopsis one more time, guys. Owen, the Barbarian, has been cursed to do good with what remains of his life. His bloodthirsty weapon, axe, has become his moral compass with a drinking problem. Together they wander the realm, foredoomed to help any who seek assistance. But there is one thing Owen hates more than a life with rules: witches. Welcome to the skull-cracking, blood-smattering, mayhem-loving comic brave enough to ask, how can a man sworn to do good do so much violence? Ha ha ha! Fucking with you, it's just barbaric. I mean, come on. That sounds like it's gonna be absolutely epic. I think this sounds a lot like Berserker, but just like it's gonna have that nice funny undertone, because if they're joking around this much in the synopsis, I just think it's gonna be really fun. And I do like a lot of books from Volt Comics, and I think this could be a sleeper. I think this could be a really fun book, and that is why I am putting it first on my Final Order Cutoff list. And the rest of the books on this list are all Marvel books, so let's not waste any more time and dive right into these books. And the first book up is Daredevil #31. This is going to have the possible first appearance of a new serial killer, but it could also be Bullseye, because he has recently escaped from Ravencroft. But I think that's strong enough spec to pick up a couple extra copies. This is the Chip Zdarsky, Marco Checchetto run. It's been a super solid run, and when anything happens big spec-wise in this book, these books fly off the shelf, and they go for good money on the secondary market. So I think this is strong enough just to pick up an extra copy or two, and why not just take the chance, spend the $8 to $12, and possibly make triple that in return. And the next book up on this list is United States Captain America #1. This is a new 5-issue miniseries, and this has the first appearance of Aaron Fisher, a young gay man sworn to protect other homeless teens and runaways. I think that is a great character, especially for the times that we're in right now, and I love that 1 in 25. I think that looks absolutely epic. And the last book up on this list is Star Wars Dr. APHRA #11. This is the first appearance of Dirge in Star Wars canon. He was previously appeared in Star Wars Republic #51. with everything that is blowing up with Star Wars right now, I think you guys would miss out if you didn't pick up at least one extra copy, or if you're not into the book, just one copy, and see if this book does blow up like every other Star Wars book that is out right now. So, that is my last book on recommendation for Final Order Cutoff, and let's jump into those new comic book day picks for next week. It is time to talk about my new comic book day pickups for June 9th of 2021, guys. And the first two books are all from the same series. And we are talking about Nottingham #2, the second print, Nottingham #4, the first print. These books are selling so well on the secondary market. Issue #1 is up over $120 for a first print. Issue #2 is in that $50 to $60 range. Issue #3 does drop down to $10 to $15. But that is still double the triple cover price. So I'm saying just pick up a couple extra copies of each of these books and see what they do. I bet you if you hold on to them longer and longer, they're probably going to just increase in value. But yeah, Nottingham #2, the second print, and Nottingham #4, the first print, I would pick up a couple extra copies. And the next book up on this list is the only DC book in this video this week, and that is Batman Urban Legends #4. This is the first appearance of Cheer, the manufacturer of the drug Cheerdrops, and also the first appearance of Chaos Master. And he appears in the backup Tim Drake story. But guys, Batman books are always good spec when they're first appearances, even for villains. So I'm going to say pick up an extra copy of this because, you know, it's Batman, and Batman is always a solid choice. And the next book up on this list is Spawn Universe #1. This is the prologue that is going to spin out the 3 new Spawn books. There's going to be King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and the team book called The Scorched. I'm super excited about this, guys. Is this going to be a huge book? I'm not really sure because I think the print run on this is going to be really big. But if you look back to Spawn #1, those books now are starting to creep up in price because they are really older. So maybe this book is going to be a book that you're going to have to purchase and hold on to for 20 years to really see a big return on it. But I'm super excited about it. I'm going to pick up some extra copies of this because I am so excited about it. But guys, there are a couple first appearances of it in it. But there are new villains. They have not been named yet. And there's also the return of Cygor and a character that I cannot pronounce. So I'm putting the name down here. You guys can pronounce it and then tell me down in the comments how to properly announce it. But yeah, I think this is going to be a long-term spec, but still it's some pretty good spec. Guys, we had 3 books left on this list, and they are all Marvel. We ended FOC with Marvel. You know what? Let's end New Comic Book Day with Marvel books. And the first one up is X-Men #21. This is the debut of the new Krakoa team. That's the spec behind this book. And that team consists of Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Polaris, X-23, Rogue, Sunfire, and Synch. And I really like the love story that they introduced between Synch and X-23, and I believe in issues number 17 and 18. So I'm excited to see where this team goes. But yeah, new X-Men team, and that is the spec behind this book. And the next book up on this list is Star Wars Bounty Hunters #13. This is the first cameo or first full appearance of Deathstick, who is an assassin, I guess. And that's a terrible name, Deathstick. But like with all things Star Wars right now, anything with a first appearance does pretty well on the secondary market. So I'm going to suggest you guys pick up an extra copy or 2 of this book and just see what happens. Because again, Star Wars first appearance usually does pretty well. Guys, and the last book up on this list is Venom #35, the legacy number 200th issue of Venom, which is super cool. That's some pretty good spec right there. This is also the end of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's run on this book. We don't know the details behind this book. Is there any real spec behind it? There's got to be something, right? It's the end of their run, but is this going to be a highly ordered book? Yes. People have been anticipating this for a very long time. Are there lots of covers? Oh yeah, there are covers through the nose for this. So go find the one you want and pick that book. But you know what? I'm going to suggest picking up a copy of this book. You know why? Because you don't know what's going to happen, but this is also the end of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's run. My guess is something good is going to happen that you guys are going to want. Maybe not right now. This is definitely not going to be a quick flip, but you know what? I think down the line, this is going to have some information in it that's going to be worth some good money 5, 10, 15 years down the line. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this week's Final Order Caught Up in New Comic Book Day Speculation Recommendations video. Did you guys agree with all the books that I talked about in this video? Are there any books that I missed in the video? I think that's more important. Are there any books that I missed? Those are the things that I want to know down in the comments below. Guys, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you guys get yourself subscribed. Hit that bell for notification because we post videos every Tuesday, every Thursday, and we go live every single Friday on Comics and Beer. It's a 1-hour live stream where we talk about the latest comic book news. We, meaning Stephanie and I, the better half of this channel. And we also do trivia. We drink craft beers. And why do you want to be there for the trivia? Because we do giveaways the last Friday of every single month. And to get your entries into that trivia, you are into that giveaway, you need to be there for the trivia that we do each and every week. Guys, and last but not least, smash that like button. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.